Hey folks, Timmy here from Link Building HQ. In today's video, we're going to be covering Google's Page Experience Update and the associated Core Web Vitals. Previously, Google had announced that the Page Experience Update would be rolled out in May 2021, but that has been pushed to mid-June. Now, I know there has been a lot of buzz among the SEO ranks around the Page Experience Update and the Core Web Vitals. Some questions, some concerns, and some misconceptions. So let's address all of that. First off, you need to know that Google will be making page experience an official Google ranking factor. Now, what does this mean? Well, if Google thinks your website's visitors will have a poor experience on your pages, it may not rank those pages as highly as they are ranking now. This makes page experience a very important topic from an SEO perspective. Now, the next question is, how does Google judge your website's page experience? Well, that's where these new set of metrics, the Core Web Vitals, come into play. The Core Web Vitals are an initiative by Google to provide a holistic view to all webmasters on what matters the most when it comes to user experience. This includes the page speed, its interactivity, and its front-end stability. And there will be many sub-factors like HTTPS, mobile indexing, and safe browsing included in it too. It is important to note, however, that other ranking factors like quality content, backlinks, etc. will still be in play. So when you optimize for the page experience score, make sure you don't compromise on other equally important things as well. All right, now let's talk about the Core Web Vitals in more detail. These vitals cover three areas, which are the largest Contentful Paint, Cumulative Layout Shift, and First Input Delay. They sound kind of fancy, but what do they mean? Well, the largest Contentful Paint, or LCP, measures the time it takes for a main page's content to load. Ideally, it would be between 2.5 to 4 seconds. The Cumulative Layout Shift, or CLS, measures visual stability, and it should ideally be less than 0.1. And lastly, the First Input Delay, or FID, measures the time a page takes to be interactive for the user, from the moment an interaction, or first input, by the user takes place. This should be less than 100 milliseconds. Now, where can you check out your web page's performance? Well, Google has announced an array of tools that can help with that. There are two things you need to consider: lab data and field data. Lab data is collected with a predefined network and device setting in a controlled environment. On the other hand, field data is collected by running your website in real time to assess the actual user experience. It's important that you use both of these to ensure that your website performs optimally. I'll give you a brief overview of each tool and show you how they can help you in assessing your Core Web Vitals. Number one is Google Search Console. There's a new report added in the Search Console called the Core Web Vitals Report. You can use that to see field data for the groups of pages that are poor or need improvement in terms of the Core Web Vitals. Number two, Page Speed Insights. Page Speed Insights can help you identify the lab and field issues on both mobile and desktop devices for problematic links. It provides real-life user experience analysis through a Chrome UX report by indicating if a page passes the Core Web Vitals assessment or not. It also gives you actionable recommendations powered by Lighthouse. Number three, Chrome DevTools. The Chrome DevTools Performance Panel now includes an experience section which primarily helps you identify issues like visual instability that causes your CLS score of your page to decrease. Number four, the Web Vitals extension. This is handy in giving you a real-time view of the Core Web Vitals metrics on your desktop. Use this when you first start to look for user experience issues, and later when you've fixed those issues to see the difference. The extension can be installed from the Chrome Web Store. And finally, number five, the Chrome UX report. This is a relatively new product launched by Google and allows you to collect data from opted-in users in the field. The Chrome UX report also allows you to create a custom dashboard for your Core Web Vitals. Okay, now let's say you've run a few of your web pages through these tools and found out you're scoring poorly on some or all of the Core Web Vitals metrics. Ooh. Remember, a bad score on the Core Web Vitals is an indication of a bad page experience, which can hurt your page's rankings on the Google SERPs. What do you do? Well, let me share a few tips on optimizing for each of the Core Web Vitals signals, starting with the largest Contentful Paint, LCP. LCP is measured from the moment a link is clicked till the time majority of the content on that link is visible on the screen. It is mainly influenced by the time it takes to render a page and the elements in the viewport. Here are a few things that you can do to improve your LCP. Number 1, get rid of unnecessary third-party scripts. Third-party scripts includes ads, analytics, video embeds, widgets. While they make the web more dynamic, they can take a toll on your LCP score. So see which ones are absolutely necessary and remove the rest. Number 2, upgrade your web host. The more time a server takes to send content to a browser, the more time it takes to render that content on the screen. So with a faster server, all your page load metrics, including LCP, improve a lot. Number 3, make use of lazy loading. Lazy loading defers some images from rendering until users scroll down and they come into view, which helps LCP. However, don't lazy load your above the fold images, which are the images included in the first section of the page that you see. Number 4, optimize, compress, or remove large page elements. Make use of page speed insights to see if there are elements like large images, videos, etc. that are impacting your LCP score. Number 5, minify bulky CSS. There can be some CSS files that contain spaces, indentation, and comments, like here. While this practice makes it easier for a new developer to understand certain elements of a page, it is unnecessary for a browser and increases the rendering time of a page. There are various tools that you can use, like these, to minify such files. Next up is Cumulative Layout Shift. If you want to improve your CLS score, you need to ensure that elements on your page don't move around when a page is being loaded. When users accidentally click something else because the page moves just at the last second, that's a cause for a poor user experience, and Google doesn't like that. Here are a few tips for you to optimize your CLS score. The first tip is to fix set size attribute dimensions for all types of media. This ensures that the browser allocates a specific space for the media until the page is fully loaded. Another thing you can do is allocate a reserved space for ad elements. Ads are one of the major causes of layout shifts. Without a reserved space, the ad can suddenly appear, moving the content out of its original place. You can also add dynamic content below the fold. Again, the idea here is to ensure that pop-ups for sign-up, related content, etc. have a reserved space in the viewport so that the users can view the content they clicked where they expect it to be. All right, the last metric is first input delay. This measures how quickly the browser can begin to process and produce a result. Here's how you can optimize for FID. Number 1, defer JavaScript. If you reduce the amount of JavaScript on your page, you can reduce the time it takes the browser to execute JS functions, which leads to a faster response with user interactions. Number 2, remove unnecessary third-party scripts. As I said earlier, such scripts increase the load time. Removing non-critical ones not only helps your LCP, but also helps your FID score. So it's a win-win, basically. Number 3, use browser cache. This will help with fast page load time while also executing the scripts quicker. Alright folks, I hope this video cleared some things up for you regarding Google's Page Experience Update and the Core Web Vitals. A good rule of thumb is to always think about the user and optimize the website for them. You can't go wrong that way. And with that, we come to an end of this video. If you like this video, do give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, this is Timmy signing off.